Our church started in 1965. 1965. There's a lot happening the year of 1965. Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. The country is at war with Vietnam, 1965. Images are being shared all across the world about individuals being executed for being part of the Viet Cong. And many Americans didn't even fully know why we were there. Some of you know this because some of your family members, and maybe even some of you, came back from that war and they were forever changed. Never the same again for what they experienced during that time. It is the same year that the Voter Rights Act is put in place, 1965. Same year that Selma, Alabama had Bloody Sunday, 1965. And yet, in the midst of the craziness and the turmoil that is happening all around the country and locally, God breathed life into 8 individuals and said, this is the founding ground to begin a church. I pray that you hear it, because with a variety of things that were happening in the year, anyone might be able to say, is this the best time to try to start a church? You mean to tell me with all that's going on in the world, you think now is the time that we ought to be coming and bringing folks together? And y'all ain't even got a building. The church, I know we get so used to Emmanuel being here. Emmanuel started in somebody's living room. That prayer in a living room changed things for generations. Prayer in a living room changed things for generations, that we are the beneficiaries of individuals that prayed back then that never knew our name, but they made sure that they were doing what God told them to do so that you can be where you are right now. We got some stuff to be thankful about. And they struggle. They try to find a building, and that first building don't work out. The city of Milpitas, some of y'all didn't know that our church started in Milpitas. Our actual business name is Emmanuel Baptist Church of Milpitas. Yep, you didn't know that, did you? Yep, some of you might not have known that. However, though, they couldn't find space in Milpitas, and God moved into San Jose. The church starts as a storefront, Santa Clara Street. And people begin to pray and worship and preach and love one another and do all of the things that we're thankful for right now, because there would be no 467 North White Road had they given up and stopped then. Thankful. And when we retell that story, we can remember how good God is. That even the plot of land that we sit on, we didn't get all immediately. All these buildings, they weren't there. All the things that we might even gripe about or be frustrated about weren't even happening at the time, but we just had a few folk. We got something to be thankful for. And many of them, all of the 8, have since gone to glory. And yet the church still remains. And if we are effective with our generation, when we are long gone to glory, there will be others benefiting from the time that we prayed and prayerfully still giving God thanks for the things that God has done. Can we talk about what God has done communally? Some of you have been baptized here, children baptized here, been married here, seen children married here, grandchildren now baptized here. Some of them are now coming to church on their own, and I know we don't like to think about this, but can we thank God even for what God is doing right now? Some of you have grandkids that are coming to church. They're in city right now being taught the gifts of God, and there was a time when we didn't even have a children's ministry. We had to shut things down, but God is doing a new thing right now. We got something to be thankful for. I've said it and I can't let it go, and I will say it over and over again. There was a Sunday where we had somebody 16 and 76 join church the same day. A couple of weeks later, we had somebody 24 and 67 join the church the same day. All the things that they say cannot happen in the whole church is happening before our eyes, and we ought to have something to give God thanks for. God is doing it.